does that brokerage actually provide you that much more value? What percentage likelihood does it increase by joining the brokerage down in DC to accomplish your goals?
So I think for that, it would be more of deal flow wise. It would get my deal knowledge up faster. I feel that for a fact that I'll just have more deals coming in, lower commission, but more deals. And I think the more knowledge that I have, I'll just have more money regardless. So I think it's more of a deal flow type of thing for that.
So deal flow as in like they will bring deals to you that you can.
Yes, because I would be their only Jersey broker and their only Jersey realtor. Yes, since they're based out of DC.
Which, by the way, keep in mind that like sometimes that is a very big negative.
Yeah. And you're right. You're right. They came down to our brokerage, and I know they're based out of DC. They have a brokerage also in Philly, but nothing over in Jersey. And I saw that they have a big social media process.
Okay. Do you know the person in Philly with their Philly office?
Yes.
Okay. And did you have you talked to them about their change since the joining the brokerage?
Oh yeah. Well, he's more of a coach. So he's like the broker for Philly, but he's more of a coach. He does real estate, but usually he's traveling around the country coaching for Keller Williams.
Have you talked to who have you talked to anybody at the Philly brokerage that is an agent who's producing about how their results are going?
The only one that's in commercial is one in DC, and I talked to him, and he said he liked it.
Okay, and define liking it. How much? I mean, how much?
Yeah. So since he's the only commercial guy over there as well, he gets a lot of deal flow coming in because he's the only commercial guy in Washington. He didn't say much about other states, but he says it's been good with relationships. He's met a lot of important people just being a part of the brokerage, and really just enhanced them, being able to get a lot of good leads.
How long has he been in the business?
Don't remember if I'm mistaken.
Because like I just want to give you some cautions. Now I'm not telling you not to do this, but I am saying some cautions. One, which is number one, how long has he been in the business, and what was the difference between income before and then after joining, and then what is his income right now?
I didn't ask that either. I guess I should have gotten in on that.
I look at it like this, right? Like number one, I also know the KW, the director of commercial with KW. I know him very well in New Jersey, so I know him, and I can connect you with him. Who could support you as well. I do a lot of work with him. So that's one. Two, I think your splits, like we already talked about, are going to be substantially higher at KW. And by the way, I'm not with KW, so I have no qualms of. I don't.
Oh yeah. Right? I wanted to join EXP.
Obviously, I think that with KW, I think they're going to at least give you enough tools and systems and processes to do well in the state of New Jersey. However, I know that you have this buyer who's looking at DC, and you're not going to have probably as much support in the DC markets because you'd be relying on some random KW agent to support you there.
Oh yeah, and he's all over the place. We're acquiring this property right now. It's in DC, but he lives in Maryland. He's looking at properties in North Carolina, pretty much just East Coast. He's looking in.
It sounds like to me, if that is the case, which like this guy doesn't even necessarily only buy in that market. I don't know what the huge positive is other than possible deal flow. My premise, my thought of like me and you, let's just say I'm your brother and saying like, hey, like, just giving you some possible reference. My worry for you is that they don't actually have any lead flow in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It sounds like in DC, they're doing well, obviously. Their main market, they're going to have it. It's like, look, like my main two markets is New Jersey and Florida, right?
Yeah.
But my 95% of my business is still New Jersey. So anybody who comes to me and says like, hey, like I want to work with you and I'm in South Dakota, I don't have anything there. And I can promise you all the referrals in the world, but I don't have any. Like there is
exactly.
You get one a year if you're lucky. I just want you to think about the same thing when you're possibly considering this brokerage. I want you to think about this too. When you're looking at brokerage comp, this is very important. If hypothetically at KW you're going to get 70%, which I'm pretty sure is where it's at.
Yes.
At this brokerage it's 50-50, right?
Yep.
That means you have to do 40% more business at this other brokerage. Not 20%. You have to do 40% more.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
40% more in gross commissionable income to make the same money.
Yeah.
So the question is, does that brokerage actually provide you that much more value? Some cases it's yes, in some cases it's no. And you need to know without a fairly reasonable percentage, okay, more than just probably, that they can do that for you.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
You're right.
For you to make 100K, you'd have to make 40% more money, right? Like at the 70% brokerage, which by the way, it's actually a 70%, 70-30, but they have a, how much, what's your cap there? Did you ask?
18,000, something like that, 21,000.
Okay, let's just do 20K. It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
$20,000 cap. Okay. $20,000 cap to make $100,000. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to generate on your first $66,000. Okay, called 67 grand. On your first 67K, you're going to be paying 20,000 roughly to your brokerage, KW, and you're going to take the remaining 47. And then you're going to have to increase that by $53,000 more. So you're going to have to generate roughly, quick pencil math, $120,000, obviously, based on the 20K cap, 120K in commissions. Okay, so GCI, you have to do 120 to make 100K. Now at your other brokerage, there's no cap, and you're 50-50. You're going to have to generate $200,000. So it's actually more than 40%.
Okay, wow, 200,000. Yeah,
you're going to have to generate $200,000 to make 100K in GCI. You have to actually generate 60% more. I was incorrect. My apologies. 60% more. So because of the cap, you actually have to generate 60% more in income in order to make the same exact amount of money.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. Once you actually put it into statistics, yeah, that's a lot.
So the question then becomes is, do you believe they will help you make 60% more money every year?
So that's when I have the meeting with them. So I have the meeting with them hopefully this week. They sent me out the link to be able to meet with them. So I'm going to talk to them and just ask these questions.
Yeah, and I would be any question that like you think maybe is uncomfortable, I would ask that question.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're 100% right.
How many brokers do you have in other states?
How
well are they doing? What's your game plan for me? How many referrals can I expect per year? And if I don't get that, are you going to compensate me in other fashions?
Yeah.
It's like you're only joining this brokerage basically based, the only thing you've
for
told
leads
me is the referrals for leads.
Yeah.
It doesn't really. Yeah. I don't believe they actually are going to give you much. So that's just at least my premise. All right. And then
no, you're definitely right.
Speak with them. You can come to me next week and let me know what they said, and I could try to support you in helping you the next steps. Cool. All right. Let's get to conversion. Give me the quick scenario that you feel like you're struggling the most with.
So struggling the most with, I feel like, yes, on the conversion side, realtor wise, I had a lot more of a problem with trying to convert people. Commercial wise, since I haven't really had much, I've really just been talking to brokers. With the buyer that I have now, I usually just call the brokers straight out, and then I just pitch them seller finance, because that's like I only have one of two buyers, and that's one of them. So I pitched that, and most of the things that they're going off of is they just don't want to be in second position, which I understand. When it comes to talking to sellers, I just don't have really much experience overall. I know I can, because I know what I'm talking about when it comes to multifamily. Like I understand all the, I understand all the lingo and everything. It's just a matter of me getting in front of them. So I think I might be able to convert. I just don't know. I never had access to dealing with the commercial sellers.
Let's talk about a few things. One, if you're going to continue working with other brokers, you're going to always be at their mercy. So your conversion rate is up to them.
Yeah.
Right. So you could be one of the most skillful people in the entire world, but you are reliant and you're at the mercy of other brokers making their own decisions, and you're hoping and praying they're presenting the idea of seller financing correctly, understanding how it works. Right. So it can be very, very complex. Now on the conversion side of talking direct to seller, that we can work on together. Yeah.
And so I think probably after these 1,000 leads, because again, I told you when I spoke with Joseph Spinella, when he sent me that lead list for warehouses and I was calling with him, I just knew nothing about warehouses. I never just had an interest in it. So I looked up like a quick YouTube video. I have a commercial real estate book that I read up on, and then I kind of just started calling.
Well, and do you have my script book?
No, I do not.
All right, I'm going to put that in the chat right now for you to get into, by the way.
Okay.
When it comes to conversion, we're going to work on this together. You're representing your buyer, right? Obviously, you have a client who's looking to acquire. Keep in mind that your opening line is essentially going to be like, hi, John. They're going to say yes. John, my name is Niles. I'm a local broker in the area. I have a client who's looking to acquire a few properties. I was just calling you to see if you'd be totally against selling the property. Okay. Yeah. You don't talk about seller financing yet. You don't bring that up. You don't talk about it. You just want to talk about, that's the first line in the script book. You're going to see that. Just be able to see if they're totally against selling the property. You say, no, I'm open to possibly selling the property. Great. And then you're going to go through your list of questions, which everything's in there for multifamily. You're going to be able to ask all those questions. Okay. Then based off of their responses, you're like, okay, well, look, based on everything I'm seeing here, right? I'm going to teach you exactly how to underwrite the deal, quickly look at the numbers, analyze everything. You're going to be able to say, well, would you be totally against taking payments over time? You're going to ask something like along those lines. And this way you're just going to see if, hey, are they even open to possibly seller financing? Obviously not everyone will be, but once you get these objections, you're going to be able to, I'll work with you and help you convert through the objections, right? And overcome these objections over and over again. Okay. Also, what I'm going to work on with you with conversion is also helping you prospect for more buyers. So you don't just have to rely on this one buyer on this seller financing structure. Also keep in mind, I'm in New Jersey. So if you come across any decent deals, let me know. Might have some buyers for you. The big few things that you can work on with conversion. Number one is scripting, getting better at your scripting and overcoming objections. Number two is submitting offers within 24 to 48 hours after speaking with the individual, which is sending an offer ASAP. This is not pitching a listing. This is not worrying about any of that kind of stuff. This is specifically talking about how do I get an offer in this person's email box and get, like, how do I get them on the phone, pitch them the offer, and then send it to them within 48 hours.
Now, is that because they're getting a lot of brokers calling them a day, but probably 99% of them aren't sending them an LOI? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. That makes
every single person says, oh, I have an offer for you. And then they never send them anything.
They just go on to the next one.
It proves legitimacy.
And it's good to follow up on too, right? It's a good follow-up call. It's a good follow-up call as well.
It's a great follow-up call. You call them back in 48 hours, and you're like, hey, just want to let you know I had that offer that I told you I'd have. Actually, by the way, I'm putting the script book because it's not loading in the chat right now. I'm just going to drop it in the same Google Drive folder. So it's there right now. Always submitting an offer. I always recommend when you always call them first to present the offer. And then you send it to them via email. Last thing with conversion is realizing that every single person's time horizon is different, right? And if you're cold calling, keep in mind that, like, you're going to call somebody up and they're like, listen, you know, I am open to selling my property for $2 million. You get them an offer for $2 million. They still might not be ready to sell it today. It's about the follow-up. Because when you're doing your cold calling, the cool thing about building this list is that you're going to have a huge database over a few years of people who are open to selling the property. And then the other piece of this is going to be realizing, like, the vast majority of these people are going to be on 12-month campaigns, which is going to be you, right, creating email campaigns and text campaigns that are going to be constantly following up with these people on your behalf in your CRM.
And I should be using a follow-up boss for that?
Well, you can use follow-up boss, or if you join KW, they have command. And if this other brokerage, you end up joining this other brokerage, I'm hoping that they have a CRM system that you could use to do the same thing. Okay, last thing is schedule and routine, which obviously we only have a few minutes, so I'm going to rip through this, okay?
Yeah, 100%.
If you're going to get a copy, I'll drop it in here, okay?
Nice. All right. Hey, YouTube. I don't know what's going to be.
Schedule and routine. First and foremost, the minimum metrics I want you to think about, and I say this every single time, is 2 leads a day. 1 offer a day keeps your financial worries away. Every day you should be trying to generate 2 leads. Every day.
And then finding a buyer strictly for that.
2 seller leads and then 1 offer a day, which means you've now taken those 2 leads that you just generated, presented that to as many buyers as you needed in order to get at least 1 offer written today. That's your minimum metric. Do you like to work out?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So when you go to the gym, it's just like saying as like, okay, well, I'm going to go work out at the gym. Like, you know, I don't know if you know, whether you have a big routine or whatever it is. He's like, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to work out for an hour. So like, and if you go to the gym and you work out for 5 minutes, it doesn't count. Like,
it doesn't.
In your mind, you're like, I didn't really work out today.
Yeah.
When it comes to prospecting, it's the same exact thing. If you don't generate 2 leads today, you didn't really prospect. You may have called for 7 hours straight, but you didn't do what you needed to do. It's like going to the gym and sitting on a bench at the gym hanging out.
Yep. No, you're right.
So 2 leads a day, every day, and then the 1 offer, again, pitching it as many times to as many different buyers as needed in order to get 1 offer. Every day.
Okay.
That's the minimum standard. Now, for an actual schedule, I recommend the following. What time can you get to the office / your desk right now to start making calls?
Yeah. As soon as possible. So I can
wake up. What time can you get there?
Wake up around like 8.
If you needed to commit to me to doing the same thing every day, Monday through Friday, what time could you guarantee every day you'd have no questions, no excuses to make calls starting at what time?
8:30.
Okay, great. So from 8:30 to 12 noon every day, you're just going to be on the dialer. 3.5 hours, maybe 4 hours a day. Yep. You're then going to have roughly 30 minutes to an hour, which you can probably do from 12 to 12:30 or maybe 12:30 to 1, depending on your availability and how many leads you actually have to follow up with. The next 30 minutes to an hour is all lead follow-up.
Okay.
Keeping in touch with your old leads.
Yeah, I need to get Mojo ASAP too.
Generate leads you never touch base with again.
Okay? Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
That's the purpose. Now, the entirety of the rest of the day, from basically 1 o'clock on, is just pitching deals. Calling buyers, pitching them the deal, getting an offer. That's it. And you don't even go on appointments until after 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
But if I don't have any deals to pitch or, then I just keep on calling, right, until the end of the day.
Yeah.
I just keep prospecting.
Yeah, 100%.
I watch a lot of you, so, I think I have a good idea.
Yeah, and that's it. This industry is either lead generation or offer generation, and it never changes.
It's very simple. It is very simple. It's very, very, very simple.
That's the
tactic there. Yeah. Sure. No, I'm with you. And that's why I needed the Reonomy. That's why I needed that, so I could just constantly call